that stuff. If it fades in and out, we'll have to wait till next week to see the whole show. We're going to roll with it this time. Yes, show number 129 from Waynesville, North Carolina. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen like you knew it would. Whoa, things will change, leaves will fall, and it will rain. We're transformed before your eyes with no time for chasing. Oh, why? Woo, Monday morning. Oh, you never know just how life is gonna go. So you jump in your boat and row, row, row. Jump in your boat and row, row, row. All right, all together, ready? Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen like you knew it would. Don't let it get you down, folks. Oh, you gotta aim high and go for your pie in the sky. Go ahead and trust yourself. Everything will right itself. Oh, life's a stream, so go ahead now. Follow your dreams. Jump in your boat, row, row, row. Jump in your boat, row, row, row. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen and it could be good. Something's gonna happen like you knew it would. Yay! Here we are. We have actually made it. The show seems to be rolling.
Yeah.
And we are going to invite our first guest to the stage. Donna! Donna Wheeler, we need you. Right here. I've got these fancy new microphones that my friend gave me. So we're going to pin that on and hope we'll get some feedback from the population about whether these work well. Now look, this is Donna Wheeler, and she's a sewist. I said, what do you call yourself? She said a sewist. I don't even know if a sewist is a real word, but I guess you'd rather be referred to as a sewist and not a bag lady, because she does sew bags. And Donna, we're here in your home, and I thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and we chose to film here in front of this beautiful fireplace because it's so North Carolina. And I wanted to bring you a little something. This is some moringa branches that I cut off and dried out, and it looks fancy. Doesn't that look fancy, folks?
Yes, moringa.
Moringa, it's really good for your brain, and it's just, you can grind it up into powder, put it in a smoothie, cook it, throw some in a soup, anything like that. So these are my gift to you.
Thank you.
You're
I'll
so
share it with
welcome.
my husband as well.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
Thank you so much.
Now, what are you doing here in Waynesville in the first place? Because we met for the first time in Florida.
Yes, we've been coming up here for probably close to 30 years. And this home that we're in now belonged to my in-laws. They passed away and left us this beautiful house. We retired and decided to do the 6 and 6. Summers here, winters in Florida, Tallahassee to be exact. And we're just loving life.
You're loving life. Yeah, you retired, but now you have to work on the house.
Yeah.
We were looking around all the hard work they've done in here since you got the place, which is great. Now, what we're going to talk about to start with is these beautiful bags that you make. Look at this. I guess this is a Tennessee, who are these?
Volunteer.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
I call this the walking bag. It's got 6 pockets, it's reversible, and it's 100% cotton, and you can just throw it in the washing machine.
Now, when you say reversible, you mean I can turn this thing inside out?
Yes, you can.
Right here in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, well, here's the different pockets. My goodness, this is a lot of serious sewing. This is not, this is a dang sweatshop. They moved up here, and now she's got to scrape wallpaper. And, oh my goodness, isn't that darling?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. It's a lot of fun. You know, I put my heart and soul into these bags. You've got my contact information if you'd like to have one. You know, you can email me or text me, but I will let you know I'm running close to a year behind.
What? Yeah, you can have one, but good luck. Now, how long does it take you to make one?
Well, if I stick with it, probably about 5 or 6 hours.
It looks, and do you make them one at a time, or do you start like a series of them?
They are one at a time. Yep.
Right, so you start a bag from start to finish, each one.
Yes, I do.
And like this one, you happen to have used this fabric, but let's say I want one out of a particular fabric. Would you do that for someone?
Oh, that would be fun. Yes, and I do that. For instance, for my Harry Potter fans, I make them something like this.
Are they all reversible?
Now this one is, yes.
This one is, but not necessarily all. There's a cute little tag here, made for you by Donna and Gordon.
Yes.
Gordon gets his name on here?
He does.
Why? What do you do?
Well, sometimes he helps me with the hardware.
Okay.
And those would be on the non-reversible bags.
Right. Okay, that counts. I thought maybe he just fixed the sewing machine or something. All right, so I could turn it like this if I want to.
Sure. And then you've got a non-Harry Potter.
A non-Harry Potter if you're going to some. Ooh, it matches my outfit. Look at that. I think this one looks good on me. And you say you just throw these in the washing machine?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow, I really like the way you finished everything is so beautifully finished.
I use a lot of piping and overstitching for reinforcement, for durability.
Okay, now isn't piping like a little bit of tape that has a string? What is piping?
Yes, it is.
That's what's going on here,
right.
Isn't
This
it?
blue strip is called piping. And you'll see it on most all my bags, if not on the exterior, on the interior.
And that comes as a tape with that little piece of string in it? Is that right? Like comes on a roll, or do you have to make it?
No, you are correct in both ways, because I can also make it. But I choose to buy it at this point.
And I like the way, look at this, there's just everything here where these pockets are, it's double reinforced with a triangle, and your stitching is perfect, darling. That's a perfect right triangle in there, which I don't think you all can see, but it would keep it from coming to bits.
Yes, it's durability and functionality is my focus.
And so are these ones bespoke? Has someone spoken for these, or they're...
Yes.
Yeah, so somebody, okay, who else do we got? We got Mr. Panda. This is a different...
And I'm starting a panda series right now. I don't know why I got into pandas, but that will go on for about a month. And I'll just do pandas. Now you'll see that I from the thrift stores, I can find nice straps. So this one has hardware and a zipper, and it is not reversible. It has an interior and exterior pocket. I have some coming up with flamingos,
and
elephants.
There's that piping. But you know what I think is really beautiful? This incredible little polka dotted detail here on the end of the zipper, because you could have just, I mean, that's a real detail.
It is, and those zipper tabs help with the functionality of the zipper.
Yes, because look at that, that's incredible. All right, let's see another one while we're looking.
The next two are beach bags.
That's pretty.
Okay, and here's this piping that we were talking about. And this is not necessarily, or is it?
It is reversible. Yeah.
Amazing. We're going to look at the other side.
Okay.
Now, look at this. And so, yeah, whichever side you prefer, or if one side got, and this can throw in the washer. Look at that.
Absolutely.
You could take yourself to the beach in this. Which way to the beach? Which way to the beach? I'm silly. Wow. And so you go to a fabric. Do you ever use these? This all feels like brand new fabric to me.
I do use new high quality cotton quilting fabric.
Right, because if you go buy an old thing from the thrift store, it might look nice, but the fabric is
Worn.
worn.
Oh, and this is just a little ditty I put in there. It just says all cotton machine washable, line dry. So
And then this one,
that's another beach bag.
it's the same sort of design, of shape.
It is. It is. I like the box bottom.
Yes, you can get so much more in a box bottom, and it'll sit, like when you put something in it, it'll sit open like that.
Yes,
That is
and,
stunning.
and again, reversible, all cotton. And Laura, I made you one too.
What?
Yes, I made you one. I'll give it to you later.
Oh, well, isn't that, don't I feel special? Good thing I brought you some food. Good thing I brought you some. Now, when did you start making bags? Like, has this been a lifelong?
No, I started making clothing. My parents would not let me wear hot pants or hip hugger, bell bottom pants.
Well, that's what kept you from going to hell.
That's right.
It's a good thing.
So my grandmother gave me a sewing machine, and from the age of 12, I was off to the races. It got to where we could buy or purchase clothing a lot less for what I could make it.
Right, isn't that crazy?
And then I switched kind of to the craft side of things. So, and again, I wanted to make something that someone could use.
Right, we were having this conversation. We were staying with a friend's family, and his mother is in her 90s, I think, and she has a house filled with beautiful objects, beautiful pieces of art, beautiful objects. And I feel like that you end up with so many beautiful objects, and I'm a sculptor, and make little clay sculptures of things that are really cute, but then what's anybody going to do with it but set it on a counter somewhere? And so we were having this discussion about how to indulge your artistic side without making more stuff, beautiful stuff for somebody to have to take care of. I mean, you know, it's nice having some stuff. So I guess you sort of felt the same way, because you could be making little animals, or I don't know what, you know, you could be making. So how long have you been making these bags?
I started making bags about 3 years ago, and I don't use a pattern. Things evolve. I switch things up and just get an idea and do it.
And you know, you're very precise. Do you have a good iron?
I do.
Yes, because this is a friend of mine told me. She said, my sister and I, she used to always say why were Laura's clothes better than her sister's, and it was, she said, because I ironed my seams, you know.
Yes.
So when you're sewing, you sew a seam and then you can iron it open. Or,
absolutely. You have to iron.
And so there you go. Tips out there, folks.
And another tip is to always pre-wash your fabric.
Oh, yeah, because
it will shrink.
It'll change. And that wouldn't be, what's the word, the first thing I would think of. I mean, I guess anytime you get something from God knows where, maybe you should wash it, but you know, it comes off that bolt so nice and flat. I don't know that I would, my first instinct would be to wash it.
Always wash it.
Always wash it. Okay. And have you found that the price of fabric has gone up in the last 4 years with everything else?
Oh, Laura's skyrocketed. You know, when I first started sewing, fabric was usually between $1 and $2 a yard. And now for this type of cotton, I spend between $12 and $13 a yard.
Wow. And how many yards of fabric is in a bag that size?
This would be one total.
1 yard?
Yep, lining and outer.
But I mean, that's of this fab and a yard of 2 yards, or no?
No.
Like a half a yard of one
Correct.
fabric and half a yard. Yeah, so about a yard worth of fabric.
Yes. And then I do interface them with the lightweight. I use a Pellin product.
Interfacing, now that's on the inside.
Between these two layers.
That's what's making it so,
yeah.
oh, because I was wondering, I'm like, she must have starched the heck out of this thing, make it stand up. So there's the 2 layers of fabric, and inside there is a
iron-on interfacing.
An iron-on interfacing.
Some people call it a stabilizer.
I'll be darned. And did you start out putting the stabilizer in your bags, or did you make a few and then decide or had you had enough experience sewing by then?
That's a good question, because no, I did not use a stabilizer initially, and I just felt like they were just too.
Yeah, they are. That's what I really liked about it. It's very, and even when you wear it for a while and wash it, does that stabilizer remain stable?
Somewhat. It loosens up a bit.
Mm-hmm. But even so, yeah, how incredibly beautiful. And did you put labels in them from the start with your name on it and stuff like that, or did you have to work up to that?
I worked up to that about 2 years ago.
Yeah, decided it was worth marking your.
Yes.
It's like if you make a piece of art, you got to sign it.
Yes.
I do a little drawing on Tuesday mornings with our next guest, Diane, and I'm not really a flat artist, but I make myself do a drawing, and then I make myself put my name on it. Now you can throw, but I'm like, this is what I did. I'm put my name on it. I don't know why that's important to me to put my name on it, because the picture itself is less important to me than getting my name on it.
What would be important to me as a collector, if I'm going to buy a product or be given something that was handmade, I want their name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, their signature.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so this has your phone number and everything on it. So if you had this bag somewhere and somebody admired it, they could call you and wait a year. That's what could happen. My goodness. Now up here, so you're going back and forth. Now, when you moved up here to Waynesville, did you find this community welcoming? And
very much so. Yes, we've got excellent neighbors. This area is called Walker in the Hills. Some of the folks have been here, like one of our guests sitting here today. They've been here for years and years, and they just know the area. Although we have had some newcomers, right, Avery? Build new homes.
Right, so is Waynesville a growing town or a shrinking town?
Very growing.
That's what I thought. We went out to dinner last night to a lovely restaurant that had sushi and stuff, and it was extremely good. Wish I remember the name of the place, but Watabi, is that the name of the place?
Watabi.
Okay, well, I'll give them a little plug. It was a beautiful dinner, beautifully presented in a calm atmosphere, and they had a sushi roll, which Diane had, and it had a slice of lemon that was so thinly sliced over it, you could hardly see it, but you could taste not only the lemon, but a little bit of the rind. And I have never had sushi present, so their attention to detail too. So, okay, so this town is growing. Well, lots of places are disappearing, but and the newcomers that are coming here, are they year-round residents or are they come and go residents?
Oh, I would say half and half. You might want to interview Avery Patrick the next time you come up.
Yeah.
She is pretty much a native here, and her family used to own quite a bit of this mountain. And but I would say 50-50. We've got folks over to our left from Tampa, Clearwater, Tampa.
Yeah, there's this funny, and at the restaurant last night, I walked in and this woman literally looked at me and she goes, "Do you go to Paso Grill?" And I'm like, "No, Gulfport." And she said she recognized me from Florida in the restaurant up here. Yeah, so there seems to be a big, Florida, North Carolina connection.
There is.
There we go. All right, do you have anything else you'd like to tell the world, Donna?
Just keep calm, keep going on, and pursue your passion.
All right, is there anybody else who needs any questions, or anybody else who needs to say to Donna before we?
Well, I just want to say I can vouch for the quality of the bags. I was lucky enough to be gifted a couple bags last year, and they're fabulous, and I use them every day, and I love them.
Oh, thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have you seen these bags that people are making out of old feed bags and stuff like that?
Yes.
Does that interest you in any way?
No.
Well, that's interesting, because for some people that's what interests them. They start making bags because they're trying to use up their old feed bags. No, you want nice
Yes.
Yes, well, there you go. Now we know. Don't send her your old feedback. I'm going to take your microphone from you.
Okay.
Donna, thank you so much for having us in your home
You are
and
appreciated.
showing us all this beautiful stuff. And I'm honored that you passed one on to me.
Thank you.
So there we go. Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Wow. All right. The next person who's going to speak today, it's been a wombly day, but thank goodness we have Miss Diane Phelps coming to the stage. Diane Phelps. There we are. This is Diane Phelps, and Diane and I drove out yesterday from Florida, and we arrived safely. Thank the Lord.
Talk about wobbly in a wobbly car. Are you going to talk about your
Yes,
car?
but we're not going to talk about any of that. We don't give details on the wombles. There's always a few wombles. There's some wobbles, but we don't like to detail them. And but as it turns out, here we're sitting with you as a guest.
Hi.
And so both Donna and Diane agreed to be guests on the show because, as you all know, I do this every 2 weeks, and it became necessary for me to leave Gulfport and be here today. And I could just cry because I'm like, I have to do a show somewhere. And I mean, literally, it's bringing tears to my eyes. I'm like, please, it's important. You've got to help me. And so, there we are. So, Diane,
Yes.
what would you like to talk about?
Well, I'm it was like a little stumble. I'm like, where did it go? I'll talk about some projects I've been working on. So, I'm a screenwriter and been writing for years and years and years. And I have this project that I'm working on right now. It's a TV series we're developing. I'm writing it with another person, and we are we're building what we call a pitch deck.
A pitch deck.
Like
Like a deck of cards, that kind of like that. To
It's-
pitch the, or it's like something.
No, it's like walking into a room. Say you're going to walk into a room of, say you go to Netflix and you say, I have this idea for a TV show, here it is, and it's all basically the outline of the TV show and the concept and the story and what each season's going to be like and all.
And is it pretty standard? Would everybody's pitch deck look about the same with the same sorts of information?
They're expecting a certain format.
Right.
They want the bottom line, and there's different layers of pitch decks. There's like a lookbook, which is basically a lookbook would be like a 5-page PowerPoint presentation with like images and stuff like that tells the theme or the mood of the TV show. Like a really famous lookbook is the one for Stranger Things, and it's all over the internet. Everybody, all you do is type in, Stranger Things lookbook, and it comes up, because that story they pulled for the images and the comparable stories to sell that story to whoever produced it, Netflix or whoever produced it. So they put together like E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, all of those like 70s shows that were those iconic shows from, that you remember from the 70s. They put all those images into that lookbook and, explained the story. Just a little bit of like.
So they're explaining a news story using
old images
that
were familiar to people, so they can kind of understand. So it's kind of like you say, "Oh, I want to make a movie," and it's like it would be Close Encounters of the Third Kind meets I don't know, Third Rock from the Sun. Who knows? Some kind of crazy combination or similar combination or different stories that are currently out there in the world that people can understand and compare and get it in their head what it kind of looks like. So that's what I've been working on, is creating this it's a document. Well, it's a couple things. The pitch deck we'll do like several different ones. We'll do a formal pitch deck, which is like the whole thing planned out, you know, like the whole series planned out. And then we'll write the pilot, which is the first episode. And then we'll make a lookbook, which is the short, pretty version. And then we'll do the pitch deck PowerPoint version, which is a little bit more in depth and goes a little bit more into the story and more details that way.
So already in this packet here, I see you have, you have season 1, season 2, they each of the seasons have a name. Yeah. And then each season has how many
so this one, we're structuring this series. It's kind of a fun series. It's about, the concept is we're at a museum, a famous artist museum. I can't say the name just yet because we have to do kinds of
because it's top secret
contracts. You know, we got to get some agreements in line. But the concepts are, the art comes alive.
Ooh.
And comes out and haunts the world, kind of thing.
Ooh.
You know, due to some ancient curse or
Ooh.
something, you know. Yeah. And the other thing, there's always a cabin in the woods. the five teenagers that go disappear on the weekend. And the mysterious diary. No. Anyway, there's some tropes that are always, you know, in every story that you don't really realize it, but once you start looking, they're always there.
So if I were wanting to do a series for Netflix, it's like, I'm going to do 6 seasons and it's all going to be about living in the mountains. They're going to be like, great, go home. But if I come back and I go, and I have it like you have here, and I have to give.
Don't show them.
Don't show them that. Somebody would have to see that you had it planned out for 6 seasons in advance, or not necessarily?
It depends. It depends on where you are. I mean, you know, thank God the writer's strike is over and all that.
Yes, for people that were not aware, I don't know if you were aware, there was a writer's strike. And they've just, in Hollywood, that's why you stop seeing the Late Show and things like that, because their writers weren't there. They come out and they have this monologue and they talk, but there's a room full of writers that are writing that every night, and they were not getting paid.
Well, the thing, it's, you know, crazy things happening in the world. You know, a lot of our, you know, the world's changing and we got to keep up with it.
That's right.
And the writers' agreements are under contracts from, you know, I don't even know, like 10, 15 years ago, where the streaming has, viewership has skewed so much towards streaming and not so much in a way that was measurable like before. So now the bottom line is, the bottom line is, the writers will be compensated more for streaming, things that are streamed, and things that are viewed on like video on demand kind of thing. Like, so you have the streaming services, but I don't know if YouTube's involved or not. I don't know about that. But anyway, they're just kind of coming up to terms to more current situation.
Right, and I think that the music industry has this. We may have, you know, that people, even Snoop Dogg, his stuff gets streamed 1 million times, and he gets 0.0003 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
But the companies are making plenty of money.
But they get 50 cents a stream or something
whatever,
like that. Yeah. So the numbers are. I know it sounds crazy, but the numbers are so out of line. Like, you know, the companies that own it, you know, make billions and billions of dollars, and then, you know, the little person who created it gets the 0.03%.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just trying to make that a little bit more doable.
So now you don't have to break the strike by.
I don't have to break the strike.
She's not crossing any picket lines, folks. Good old Diane.
I know. But yeah, so it's good moving forward that's happening, and the same thing for the actors and their compensation too. You know, so you know, they'll be resolved.
And you have written more than one. You've written more than one
I
screenplay.
counted. I added it all up. I made a whole master list of all my screenplays and TV shows. I have 22 scripts,
Wow.
screenplays, and 17 TV shows.
Yeah. And
so I
like,
think it's
yeah, it's sort of like being a musician that has a lot of songs
just in the closet, in the drawer.
to break in. So why did you decide that this was the one you're really going to
Because
push
I
forward?
love this idea.
Okay.
I love
It's your
this
favorite so far.
artist. I love this artist. I've been fascinated with this artist since I was young, and it just always clicked. And I'll just say the soundtrack would be like Pink Floyd, and maybe some grunge, 90s grunge.
Okay, we're gonna have that.
I'll just say mix those two together, and that's kind of the vibe. But definitely some Pink Floyd.
All right, so now that you have, now she's written the thing a long time ago. We had that, and now that you have this beautiful, pages and pages describing each season and a couple sentences, we have, there's the role, a charismatic art dealer collects from the future. Ooh, that sounds exciting. And then there's core traits, positive and negative, motivation, wound, so there's, with each season,
There's a lot of, there's a lot that goes on to developing characters, storylines, all that. It's just like a multi-level chess game, and you got to have all those elements in there to make it good. If you're, you've all watched a TV show and you get halfway through and you're going, oh, this is horrible. Or you're like, why did they make this? And unfortunately, a lot of independent movies get that way. It's like you get the momentum gets going behind something that's just not thought out enough in the planning stages. And it's so frustrating, at least for me as a filmmaker. I want to watch something entertaining or interesting or, whatever, but I'm also trained to look for those clues. And when they're not there, it's like an unsatisfying book or a movie. You start reading a book and
it's like a wrinkled seam. We're not having any of that.
buy the iron. You gotta get it ironed out.
So the process goes, now you've got it all planned out and you're working with
I have some other people I'm working with. And so now we're going to, we're still polishing the pilot.
We're polishing the pilot, which means the very first episode, you have it basically written all the way through, like the whole story.
Yes.
Lines and everything.
Yes. So we're just polishing that, making that 100%. And then we will go out and shoot a teaser.
A teaser.
A sizzle reel.
A sizzle reel. Oh, it's a sizzling good time. I love all these words. A sizzle.
With Curtis.
With Curtis, yes.
Curtis. So so a local filmmaker in St. Pete. So we'll go and shoot the sizzle reel with him, and then we're open for volunteers, help, money, food, whoever wants to help.
So St. Petersburg, around St. Petersburg, Florida, and you want to get involved,
Text me.
Look, it costs money. So if you got a big pile of that, want to throw some money at something, but also, like you say, you could be in charge of bringing sandwiches to the set.
Yeah, we're planning on shooting a couple days. What is today? October, November. Like within the next 2 months, we'll spend a couple days shooting the sizzle reel.
And I'm going to help. I'm going to be a helper because you got to help. You got to help your friends that help you. I like working on films.
Yeah.
Now, the pilot that you shoot, does it have the stars that are going to be in it through the whole way? Or do you shoot a pilot with a
Well, we'll have to get the money to make the pilot first. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to polish this together, and then we're going to go to NACD, which is the National Association of Television Producers.
And when you say you're going to go to them, are you going to knock on their door? How do you do that?
That's a conference in Miami every year in January. So our deadline is to get this all polished and wrapped up and ready to go, and we'll take it to Miami and pitch it. And at that place is at NAPTY is all the people that produce all the TV shows and stuff. International, not just United States. So we could find somebody in Spain, and other countries have like film funds and they support film and all that kind of stuff. It's not such a crazy world. It's United States Hollywood filmmaking, but like Ireland has film funds, and Spain, Portugal has a big film fund. So there's other countries that are encouraging filmmaking in their countries, so like to this project, it's written for St. Pete, but it could go anywhere in the world.
Right, we could change.
So, if Bulgaria decides to say, yeah, that's a great idea, we'll go there and make it. Prague. I know for a while there was a lot of stuff done in Prague. A lot of people we know that we've worked with.
Because I did a bit of work in the film industry once. That's how I met Diane. You were the costume designer, and you've been costume designer. Can we tell where you've been costume design?
For everything.
For everything. Edward Scissorhands. She worked on that.
Well, I was an art director.
Art director.
Art department.
Art department. Just art department. But anyway, just art department.
I did some sculptures. Oh, and my Edward Scissorhands, in his garden, he goes in the garden and he's doing his topiaries. Yeah. I designed some of those.
Wow. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Oh, so fun. It was so fun. That was a crazy fun time. Anyway, but yeah, that's, if you want to look me up, I'm on IMDB.
IMDB, what's that?
Internet Movie Database.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever want to know any details about films, it's not on there.
No, but this is who we're talking about. We're talking about Diane Phelps.
So Internet Movie Database is like all the details on the movies. It lists all the cast, who's in it, what role they had. It lists all the production people, every role.
So I can't say, oh, I worked on Edward Scissorhands. They're going to be like, I don't see your name on that.
You're probably on, you should be on.
Misconceptions.
You should be on IMDb. Yeah. So I haven't looked you up.
I don't know.
It's so funny when you get on a new film and you're like, and they're like, who's that person? And you look them up and you like Google them, and then you're like IMDb and you're like, oh, they did that. Oh, they did that. And then it kind of like puts them in this kind of, gives you that perspective on who they are and where they fit in the world kind of thing, You're like, oh, they've only done one thing and they're in charge. Oh, they must have somebody, Uncle Joe's got some money, gave them the director.
And so what do you think would be the bottom line to film just the sizzle reel? By the time you walk into that presentation, how much money do you think it's going to have cost you?
Oh, well, you could spend crazy.
Well,
you could spend it depends on how many good friends you got.
Yeah, well, I'm in. Don't worry. I got a lot of good friends. But at a minimum, what do you think you would need to?
Well, there's different, I probably can't give you a figure because it really is, there's so many moving parts.
Right, because if the sizzle reel involves a helicopter job, that's going to cost you more than if the sizzle reel costs.
Yeah, case in point, there was some kid, a lot of kids go to film school and whatever, and some rich kids go to film school. There was some kid doing a movie down in Sarasota, and his parents funded this thing. I don't even know how much they spent. All I heard was the stories, the rumors about it. It was like, and then we had a helicopter, and then we did this, and then we did that.
Did the film get made?
I don't know what the end result was, but I know they spent a lot of money
trying
on student film.
Well, there you go. Come on, parents, let's go. There must be somebody out there that got more money than they need, want to get involved. Okay.
Right. Yeah, so there's, who knows.
And so when you go to the thing and pitch it, do you have to have an appointment with like a particular Netflix or Bulgarian Film Institute, or do you stand on a stage and talk to a whole bunch of people?
So there's a couple different arenas for that. How they've set it up this time, we have to register. We're registering as a company to pitch 3 projects.
Oh.
So we have this one, and then we'll have 2 others.
Oh, and are they going to have sizzle reels too?
Not
necessarily.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. This is the first one we're focusing on. The other ones are pretty much done but don't have sizzle reels, but really it would be pretty easy to make them. I mean, it would, take a day.
But so when you present, who are you going to be presenting? How do you present? Like into a room full of people?
It's basically, so it'd be like speed dating. Sometimes every situation's different, but typically you're at a big hotel in a conference, one of the big ballrooms, and there's a bunch of tables, and this table's Netflix, this table's cine medium.
So you're going to go to Netflix. They're not going to come to your table.
Somebody.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Well, I think so. How this is working this time is we sign up as a company. We say we have these 3 things. The people that are interested say, yes, I want to meet you. Yes, I want to meet you. Yes, I want to meet you. And then that meeting happens, that meeting happens, that meeting happens. And they say yes. Then they say, thank you, we'll be in touch. And that's the Hollywood way
So
to
the
say no.
Netflix, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah, I'm glad you called.
I was just thinking
I'm
about
so glad
you.
you called. I was just
one of
thinking
those-
about you. That's the
That was
Hollywood.
that was an LA call. I called a friend. Anyways. Oh, I was just thinking about you. I'm like, oh, and it was like, no, you weren't. Yep. Maybe you were because I'm so remarkable. Anyways, so they, when you're saying they decide who they want to talk to, so they're going to have read 6 million of
Not
these
all,
first?
not all of it. It'll be like it'll just be like a 1 page.
One page. So
Yeah,
they
like here's the
yeah.
genre, concept, this, that, the other thing, and sometimes they'll buy it outright, or sometimes they'll want to partner with someone. Like some people coming are production companies that have produced a lot of other stuff, and they can partner with them, or they're or they can buy it and say, okay, oh, that's a great idea, and they're gonna buy it and go take it and rewrite the whole thing.
And you don't and you don't get to write it. Like if you sold it like that, you would just hand it over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go. Give me
Take
the
it.
money. Thank you. I'll go write another one. I'll go write something else.
Right. Well,
So-
good. Are you? And do you have like a million ideas piling up for future?
Well, right now I'm just working on the 17 TV series and 22 scripts. I'm just working on making those what do you call it, like just ready to send out, I guess you'd say, to sell. I mean, I don't know. I don't have the fun. I don't have the rich uncle.
Not yet, but that's all right. Something's going to happen, and it could be good. Honey. Next year we'll be sitting here and like the bags. It'll be a whole year. You'd have to wait for a bag, and then be a whole year before you'd have to wait for a new Diane script because she's too busy with the old one.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with folks about
Well,
that?
I just want to say that, Laura, you're fabulous, and I
Aw.
appreciate you
Yay.
and all you do and how you bring
Thank
people
you.
together.
Thank you.
And you just have really been great at keeping this together and all that.
Thank
And
you.
it'll make you cry.
Yeah. Thank you
And
so
also
much.
thank you, Donna, for having us here.
For having
That's
us
really
here.
sweet. It's so
And-
nice to be up in Waynesville.
Yeah,
It's beautiful
It's
up here.
beautiful, and it's amazing how many people there are in the world that are doing something interesting and special. And if you're into writing scripts, you think Diane's interesting and special. And if you're a sewer, a sewist, and you think, and I think everyone is. I'm like, I learned so much. I didn't even know there was a word.
I didn't know
sewist.
that was a word.
It's a real word.
Yeah.
It's a real word.
It's a real word. See? All right, all you. There's something for everyone on this show, including Scrabble players. I'm going to take this from you.
Thank you.
And thank you so
All right,
much for
thank
your
you, dear.
time and being so. I'm going to sing an exit song that
Okay.
sometimes I sing, but we have time for it today, and we have some folks out here that have never heard this song. It's called Carry My Rain in a Bushel Basket, not carry my brain. Carry the rain. And the theory is that if you put your troubles in a holy basket, they'll all run out the bottom and you won't have any more troubles. So that's the gist of this song.
Oh, good.
life like a joke. But I won't go sinning in my neighbor's yard, 'cause he's been working mighty hard. When I go downtown, I don't wear shoes, and Lord knows I'm not gonna sing the blues. I'll carry my rain in a bushel basket, and I'll carry the sunshine too. I'll carry my rain in a bushel basket and let the sun shine through. Carry my rain in a bushel basket, carry my rain in a bushel basket, carry my rain in a bushel basket, let the sun shine through. I won't get cross if you smile at me, and I throw my troubles out to sea. I don't wear black or need a heart attack, 'cause we can be happy, how about that? I don't think much about what could go wrong, and I don't want to sing about it in a song, but I'll look at you and shake my head, 'cause Lord knows some people, they'd be better off dead. Carry my rain in a bushel basket, and carry the sunshine too. Carry my rain in a bushel basket, and let the sun shine through. I'll carry my rain in a bushel basket, carry my rain in a bushel basket, carry my rain in a bushel basket, let the sun shine through. I don't see Saturn when I look at the stars, but I know it's out there and so's Mars. I don't think much about the evening news, and Lord knows I'm not singing the blues. I don't like ham, but I do like toast, and I certainly don't care who you hate the most. I don't care how it's always been done. You could give in but still have a little song. Carry my rain in a bushel basket, carry the sunshine too. Carry my rain in a bushel basket, and let the sun shine through. Carry my rain in a bushel basket, carry my rain in a bushel basket, carry my rain in a bushel basket, let the sun shine through. You gotta let your sun shine through. Is there anything anybody needs to say?
Becky Day says, love it.
Oh, hey, Becky Day. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate that. We're going to be in Gulfport for the next show. I think it's about the 1st of...
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. We're going to have some music and stuff back in Gulfport for those of you that like to attend. Thank you so much.